Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of AWM Insights. We've spent the last few weeks covering a little bit what's going on in the markets, but trying to bring some context, reminders on staying disciplined, really how that then can lead into multi-generational wealth. And I would say the through line there, maybe the subcontext, is that tiny habits actually do generate tremendous wealth, tremendous multi-generational wealth if you can stick to them. And so we're going to dig into those, maybe talk about a framework, and what are those habits? What do we know? What has been proven over time from some well-known investors, and what do we know just from the data and behaviors that we see across a large sets of investors overall? And within that, you can really take similar frameworks from the mental performance game, good old friend Brian Kane and what he does over there. Also, someone like James Clear and his book Atomic Habits. We know that tiny habits across all facets of life lead to compounded benefits, or create compounding results, if you will, and lead to substantial benefits over time. And so that's kind of what the conversation is going to meander around today. It doesn't take a lot, quite honestly, but at the same point in time, it's difficult because we are still these beings with emotions, croc brain, whatever term you want to apply to us, complicated humans that often get in our own way. Investing is no different than just say the mental game, or trying to quit smoking, or pick your challenge, whether it's a vice or a virtue that you're trying to develop. Investing slots in there, kind of in the same vein, and so we're gonna get into that. Right, markets are still interesting. We're not trying to gloss over what's going on. There's more uncertainty, and tariff 2.0. Right around the corner, but we want to hopefully leave everyone today with this, just a reminder. Hey, it's small habits. It's these little things that you can control if you pay attention to them on a regular basis to really lead to multi-generational wealth. So with that, let's get into it. There's great examples from long-term investors like Warren Buffett, who is kind of this boring, tried and true, long-term patient individual who's just stuck to his plan. I think there's a great statistic around him where the vast majority of his wealth has actually been generated after some late age. I'm not going to say the age, but it's like after age 40 or 50 or something like that. Maybe you know that statistic better than I do, Mena. But right, like it's just a great reminder that these small things repeated over time, sticking to the process, sticking to the plan, really, really do compound to great results.
In the earlier years, you can think about saving money as building that foundation. Taking the Warren Buffett example, I think he got to $1 million before he was 25 or 30, and that might not sound like a lot of money, but you let that compound. He was obviously very diligent, and he's famous for being very diligent, not spending a lot of money, saving, investing properly, investing in high quality companies. And over a 60 to 70 year period of time, those small habits, along with the foundation that you establish, can really turn out to be something phenomenal. And for our clients that are primarily very, very young, and they will have a fantastic foundation just with earnings from their playing career, being thoughtful, maximizing those earnings, and also investing them properly and working with a team and building a strategy that is setting you up for success is 100% the way to go. And if you're not doing that, you're not being a good steward for your money.
Yeah. And so much of the framework and discussions we have with you all is in line with this, right? We're not just having those conversations because it sounds fun or, it gives convenience to clients, but automated savings, right? The foundation you talked about. Let's start there. Automated savings and investing. put money to work. Right? Holding cash, I think you talked about it last week, is risky in and of itself, because you have to figure out when to actually put that money to work, or you're not keeping up with inflation. And so these simple little things build up over time. Automated savings, regular meetings amongst the family, certainly from a generational wealth standpoint, right? We often say that money doesn't transfer because of a lack of skill or technical know-how. It's family dynamics, or not transferring knowledge and values, etc. Making sure you're living within your budget. All of these really basic things. One I really, really like, especially from a family dynamic standpoint or value standpoint, is practice gratitude and generosity. I like, as we were putting some notes together, I think that's a really, really, really powerful component to this idea of developing and imparting a wealth mindset to future generations. And so these little things within our general framework are all designed to set you up for success, both over the short term. We know that, whether it's optimizing taxes in a given tax year, but that's a compounding effect for the long term as well, for multi-generational impact. So these little things, this foundational practice, the tiny habits that both you all listening can control, but we all certainly do on a daily basis, as well as thinking about bigger picture family dynamics, conversations, value transitioning, or transfer rather, is what I want to say, are all these core pillars, both to generational wealth, but just general investing at large, I would say, as well.
Yeah. And really what you're talking about is composed of small steps, tiny little habits that over a long period of time generate this tremendous wealth. I'm just going to out myself right now. I do not have a family office managing my money, managing my taxes. And, going through this process of setting up this episode, I saw a lot of areas of opportunity where I can do something small and it can impact my wealth moving forward. So it's definitely going to be something that I think about, that I'm intentional with. I'll tag the tax team and try to, set up a few conversations with Jay just to see where I can improve my process. But I would encourage our listeners to do the same thing. There's usually something low-hanging fruit that you can start with that just starts hopefully a train of good habits and a trend of good habits. And it's the start that stops most people, as Brian Cain likes to say.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's also an important tie-in here to one of our core taglines, right? We say own your wealth. And we truly mean that this is, we are here as the experts and really here to guide, provide advice, technical know-how, and implementation. But it is a relationship. So it's a two-sided relationship. There are things that are in your control that you can take ownership of yourself, especially in the foundational piece and within the family dynamic piece. We're certainly there to help. And then we're there to add on from the foundational layer. But, these additional items, if someone's out spending or not saving altogether, there's very little we can do, right? Good investments are not going to outperform bad money management. It's that simple. And so the reason why I think it's important for us to pause at talking about the markets in an anecdotal way and focus on discipline and a lot of those really, really important topics and look a little bit longer term is to just reorient ourselves and remind ourselves that this is a both long-term endeavor, but B, something that needs to be practiced on a daily basis. You need to wake up thinking about your values, your habits across the board, whether it's on the human capital side, the financial capital side, and really to optimize where you want to be as a family. So hopefully a little bit of a different topic today. Certainly one we don't hit on too much. I mean, it definitely it resonates with topics that we've covered, but in a different vein. And hopefully it was helpful. definitely let us know, right? The more feedback we get from everyone, the better off these conversations and topics will be. And until next time, own your wealth. Like I said, make an impact and always be a pro. Thanks for listening.